Thank you for tuning in to the Helium Radio Network. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
Welcome back to Sessions with Sarah on Helium Radio. Today I have from Handel Group, I have Marnie Nir with us. And you might recognize Handel Group because we had Lori a couple weeks and now we got her stunt double over here in Costa Rica trying to make me jealous. How are you?
I warned you. I deserve to be hated. It's okay. It's fair. I would hate me too. It's all good.
Yeah, it's just jealousy. It's just pure jealousy.
It's fair.
Oh, so you're the SVP and Chief Content Officer over at Handel Group. So you also teach the Handel method and everything. And I just love what you guys say. And like, I learned so much from Lori and then I saw your article, The Best Laid Plans for this year.
That was fun to come up with. Like, how much trouble will I get in? Let's see.
Let's do it. Yeah. So
true.
Can you tell everybody what that was all about and how you came about writing that article? Because it was very funny, humorous, but true.
Yes. Well, look, I love coaching people on love. It's like my favorite thing. Part of it is because I sucked so badly back in, I call it the dark ages, my dating days.
That's
I was
me
so
right
bad
now.
at it that I am really good at it. There's like practically nothing you could say, Sarah, that like I haven't heard, wouldn't say myself. Back in my day, we were not online swiping. So I can only imagine the wild tales or boring tales or like whatever I would come up with if I were online today, right? I'm 27 years married, so I like figured it out, but it took something. It took something for me to figure it out. And then as a writer, I love words. So I, giggle at people's online profiles as nicely as I can with what you're like willing to say, won't say, how full of shit most people are on them, and don't want to, just kind of like bury the lead of what you're really looking for and where your chicken shows up online. And so I just love, I love all that. And again, because I truly sucked at it, there's nothing I don't think I could make fun. I think I'm allowed to make fun of it all because I was just as shitty.
I'm so shitty at it too. We kind of went into that. You know what my thing is though? Like, it's like with guys, like in dating, it's like they seem interested, but God forbid you text them and then like you just never hear back. It's like, I don't understand that. I mean, I guess they're not into you, but I don't understand like why people are so rude all the time, or like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Look, I think completely. Here's the good news, right? Like a no is never supposed to be a yes, right? So they're really like, you could get devastated each and every ghosting event, right? Right. Yeah. Or you could end up, look, it's never ending, right? You could end up bitching about the one that didn't respond to you, or bitching about the one that like looks like he's looking or she's looking for a pen pal, or is in love ASAP. Like in 2 seconds, I already know you're it, right? Like there's a gamut of how much fodder your head could go do with it. What I love about the dating sites, truly, like I don't care if you meet them on there or not, but it's a great petri dish for us to see what your head's doing, what shitty theories you have, what you believe, right? Because at Handel, and Lori might have said this, we'll say it a gazillion times until everyone like fucking remembers it, but what you believe you prove. Right. So you have to watch what you're thinking, especially when you're online. So if you got like, I'm making this one up, but like you guys suck at texting, what the fuck's the problem? Like you're in like, what's wrong with them? I'm cute. What's wrong with them? So if you have a tagline or a thought of what's wrong with them, you think you wish they were texting you, and then we'd assert the win is not, right? The win is proving your shitty theory that guys suck or they suck online or what's wrong with them, prove true.
Right.
Right? We're very invested in our crappy thoughts. We really are. And we think it's them, not us.
Right.
Right.
But I do have a lot of girls probably in late 30s, early 40s that nobody can seem to meet anybody. So, I mean, I don't think, I get it's our thought process in a way, but there is something going on.
Look, here's the question, right?
Okay.
What do you do with the friend that does meet someone? Because it's not true. I have a handful of people that have met the love of their life during COVID online.
No way.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that person had a different theory than you and your 30s people.
Yeah. Your 30s
right.
people.
Right. So we go like birds of a feather flock together, right? Because what most of us do, right? When you find out, like, oh my God, what do you mean, Marnie? Who met somebody? And I was like, oh no, there was like a wedding not that long ago from an online find. And you're like, right time, right place, right time, like however we need to like put it in the folder, right?
Yep.
So we're like, well, then maybe she's 5'8". Is she a model? Right? Like we don't know what to do with it. So if it doesn't fit our crappy theories that are currently informing our reality, we're gonna just not weigh them as heavy. Because that information of, oh no, people really are meeting people. This is the perfect, most romantic, awful age ever. Because everyone's stuck at home. Everybody's online. Everyone's being more picking better or vetting better, because you're like, I ain't kissing that. Right? Like it slowed down the process to actually have to care before you go meet somebody.
Yep.
Whether they're worth the risk.
Right. I mean, I was so busy working and, I'm a germ phobic, so I wasn't really going to be meeting up with anybody. That was my personal preference at this point.
Yeah. But then did you do a shitload of FaceTime dates and have like dinner over Zoom?
No, because I find that odd. You see, look, do you see? You and Marnie have a lot of work to do with me. There's a lot of progress.
A whole other world. Look, for a germphobe, this is the perfect time because no one thinks you're being odd. You're being smart. So Zoom dates. Look, Lori and I and all the Handel coaches, forever pre-COVID, we're having a lot of our sessions via Zoom or FaceTime. Right? Like we were on Zoom way before we're stuck on it.
Before it was cool.
before we could even know that there were fun filters.
Right.
And I fall in love with my clients online. Right? Like I could see their twinkle. You could see my goofy octopus up here. Like we could go play. It's not mine, people. I'm in a rental.
Exactly. I know.
But there's so much opportunity to really get to know someone and slow it down and really have a great coffee date on Zoom. Really have 4 Zoom dates before you ever go meet them in a park.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's great advice, right?
Except for everyone but you. Is that what you're saying?
All right, you know what? I will let you ladies find me some dates and then I'll do that because there's no way to meet people around where I am. I'm sick of Boston people. I'm out in Boston. They're not.
And you don't think people move to Boston from other locations? Can you look, here's the key for you, okay? You have to start hearing your shitty theories. So now you live in Boston, yet you've already decided that he's not there.
Yep.
Which then, right, you're like, you have to just get how smart we are, okay? Because if you have that theory, Sarah, like, do you have to date? Do you have to even bother going online if you already know he ain't there?
Well, I guess you could go online because you never know. But
yeah, but your theory, right? Look, if someone has a theory, and we're on dating, someone has a theory like after 50, it's hard to lose weight. My metabolism sucks. Okay.
Yep. Then you're gonna believe it.
Yeah, and when you open the fridge, are you really going for the iceberg lettuce? If you already know, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't work, right? Okay.
It doesn't work. right?
Yeah.
So that's how smart we are. So you've already, right, like written yourself a why not, right? Like a hall pass from dating in Boston, because
Right.
you've decided the entire place there's a drought of good men,
There's a drought.
right? So there's a drought, and then you're like, tell Sarah why no one's texting. And you're like, oh, because she believes there's a drought.
Yeah. I didn't even know we were going to pick on me today on my show.
It was, you started.
She's like, wait a minute.
Well, you might as well. We could whatever.
I know.
You could talk me.
You know what? I'm very open and honest about everything on this show. So
Awesome.
But I agree. No, I believe in all that negative thinking and stuff like that. But every time I try to come out of it, something goes, like, I'm very positive, and then something just kind of tweaks and goes awry. You know what I mean? I don't know.
As if you have nothing. Yeah, look, again, if there was like a prize, let's say finding the love of your life isn't prize enough. Let's just put that aside. But if there was like a check, like, name your price, Sarah, or like, go have fun and like get like, by April, whatever, have 3 amazing Zoom dates. Like, go cause it, go believe it, go find 3 great men in Boston or the area, right? And you get a check for whatever the number is that has you like step up and give a shit again.
Yep.
Right? You'd figure it out. You're like too smart not to, right? You got through school. Like, you're too smart not to be able to figure it out. So all of us, when you're not figuring something out and stuck and you're like, no, it's not me, dating just sucks, busted, there are no men here, right? And you don't start calling bullshit. Right? That if your friend was like, you would just rally, right? You could, to win a prize, you could figure it out. The bummer for most of us is the prize of being wrong. and you finding the love of your life isn't worth the get up and care again.
Right. I mean, I agree with that. That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it, Yeah, definitely. We all know I have a lot of work to do.
It's fun. It's shopping. What is the big deal? It's fun.
Well, it's just the finding and all that stuff, and finding people to date. I just find it hard personally. So
yeah, look, again, it's just a theory.
Yeah, it's true.
Look, we have theories. We invent them. Sometimes they're not even ours. They're like, oh, it's my mother's. Right? You're like, she thought it was hard too. Look what she is. Like, whatever, I'm making this shit up. But it's like most of the theories aren't even that novel.
Right. I know.
We're just ants marching.
But we should do a panel with all my girls. Like, they all, and everybody has a different mindset for sure. Like, there's ones that are definitely open to dating and all that stuff. I don't know what's going on with my hair today, but
it's just audio, right? So we're good.
Yeah. Okay. But it's just hard. It is. I think everybody has different problems and issues. And well, I think a lot of it too, this is what we see, is like, there's so much selection for the men now that it's hard to sustain a regular.
You really need a pen. You really need a pen when you're spewing these, just saying. Right? You want me to just like shake my head? Like, either we gotta like score this with a violin, and I know like your listeners are shaking their heads.
Marnie's giving me no sympathy today. None.
Amen. It's really hard, and it's not so hard for men. And look, COVID, everybody's fucking on the sites. And I know men that are looking, and I know women that are looking. So it's not true that everyone is shopping and it's a fucking numbers game. Okay, it's a numbers game, right? But you have to go like, what's my number? Like, which one? How many of these do I have to go? I have to care. I have to rally. I have to go X number of whatever, 30 minutes, an hour a day. I have to be on 3 sites. I have to have the best fucking photos, love my profile, and just fucking go. I'm going to win the lottery. I'm winning.
All right.
And if you have that attitude,
that mindset,
you do. Well, you first have to like really write down, and this is for everybody, right?
Okay.
Is really write down your list of theories that you think are truths. Okay. Right? It really is. It's so much easier for men. The Boston has none. My guy's not here. I tried. It's really hard. I'm a germ for a germaphobe. Fuck off. Right? They just want to get laid. Or men are shitty texters. They don't even text. I text, what's the problem? So there's a list, right? And we really spew these. At Handel, we call these, they could be theories, or they could be like weather reports, right? Like forecasting shit that you think you have nothing to do with, right? So just like it rains in Seattle, you know, there are no men in Boston.
There isn't.
It's hard to diet, especially on a Monday after a lot of carbs on Sunday. You know, it's that we report as if we have nothing to do with it, but it's not true, right? Because if we went through your life, Sarah, of shit you accomplished, no matter what the other people would say, right? Like, oh, that would be really hard, or oh, to be a pharmacist, oh, to be this or that, like all that shit that you accomplished. You have a big, good checklist of shit that the world might have said, "Are you kidding me?" Right? And you didn't give a shit.
Right. That was
you
always
had
me.
better. Yeah. You had in those areas, you had good theories. They weren't truths. They were just truth for you that you made up and believed.
Right.
Right. So give me an area where you like rocked it out, where it was like easy for you, where it wouldn't be easy for others, but give me one, 5.
Oh, it definitely was, it was pharmacy school, because I was really busy. I went to UConn, and I got recruited to play tennis, and they had pharmacy programs. So I was trying to do both. And I think it was my sophomore year, you had to like apply in, got a C- in I think physics, but that wasn't good enough. So they tried to remove me from the situation from going forward. Oh, and she just was like, basically, oh, you're too pretty. Why don't you go home and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself if you're mature enough to do this program? And I was like, bitch, it is on. And that's what I did. And I made sure I was secretary of the class just to annoy her. So she had to see my face every day, that kind of stuff. So that was me. Pretty badass.
Can you hear your, like, we also call them taglines in Handel, right? So can you hear, the like, bitch that you're on, right? Like, this is on, is a tagline that could get you anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And you don't have one like that in the area of finding your human and love.
Right.
You have shitty ones, but you need a bitch. This is on. And that would, like, can you see how that would inform who you were on, like who you'd be about your profile, about your photos, about like fucking Zoom calls, like whatever.
You know what? That would be a great tagline just on a profile. Bitch,
no
it's on.
shit. Yes. Look, because it's your mindset is fucked up, right? On purpose, right? Like whether, like if we went through your history, if we went like where you got hurt, where you used to believe, but you don't want to anymore, and just took your marbles and stopped playing, right? Or what happened that you got hurt, right? That you're no longer playing, right? Like easily, Sarah, someone could have, that woman at pharmacy school could have, you could have stopped right there. You could have cried. You could have had a different telling of this story,
right?
Of where looks and pharmacy don't come together. Like, who knows what you could have made up what humans make up. Right? Is that bitch said I couldn't have it? You see, I can't be pretty as a pharmacist, whatever. And you could have gone and taken your marbles, but you didn't. You stepped the fuck up, invented a new tagline, and won.
Yep, I did.
I'm sure if we went through, and everyone should be listening from, there are areas in your life where you really did step up. Right. And have a good theory, and didn't listen to the world or the news or whatever the world was trying to sell you, or whatever the voice in your head of fear your chicken was trying to sell you. And you did it anyway. Right. And if you're failing in the area of love and blaming the sites, I understand you're not alone, but you're a sneaky because you just don't want to play anymore.
Doesn't want to play in the sandbox right now.
Yeah, and you're just pointing at the sites, which I get, but at the moment, this is your safest place to go shop.
Okay. Well, I may have to try that out later on today. Baby steps.
You need a post-it up on your computer. You need a little poster. You need to do a vision board for your human and put, I got this, you're on. And
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I love all your spirit about this and everything more. But I do want to talk about how you also co-created an animated series called Mother Up. Tell me a little bit
Yes.
about that. That was on Hulu, and it says that
It was
Eva
on-
Longoria was one of the voices.
Eva Longoria played my voice. It was awesome.
You sound just like.
You know, not it wasn't bad. She did a better. No, I do a good bitch ish. You know, I'm more covert than she was in the show. It really came out of my, like, way back when I finally surrendered and let my baby sister Lauren coach me.
Okay.
Where it really started. So it, like, started way back before I was a coach. I was mom of one, trying to get pregnant with the second one, and wondering what the hell I was just mutating into my own mother really rapidly.
Yeah.
Was concerned. Right? Yeah, like, I didn't really want to go back to work, but I really also didn't want to just turn into my mother. So I finally surrendered to my sister, who then made me, like we would make you do if you started coaching, is writing like your list of your dreams. Like, what could you go do, Marnie, in this land? Like, what do you want to go do? I understand it's easy to say not a bunch of things, but can you go, like, design what you want? And at that time, it was right when HBO had, I think it was HBO, Showtime, Sex and the City just came on, like the first original Sex and the City. And, and it was so, like, different, right? It was like all of a sudden, like, women could just be women, you could be an asshole, you could be hot, you could be all that. And I just watched, you know, Carrie Bradshaw, right? Like, write a sex column. And I was like, wow, that would be a fun.
That's cool.
Like, I understand it's a fake job, but I was like, that would be fun. But I can't obviously write about not writing a sex column, God help you. But I could go write a motherhood column, because I think this is too funny. I suck too bad at it. Like, this is like the worst pro bono gig ever.
Is this a blog called Sour Milk?
That I turned Sour Milk. First it was called The Poop. So The Poop was my first one. And it was called The Poop. And mostly, if you know me, like, I really, like, come up with a name. I want the t-shirt first. Right? and then everything that informs everything else. So I wrote The Poop and made a couple of phone calls, and really got, like, my first column in the Westport News in Connecticut. And then there was another Connecticut. I was like, I just started rallying and said, because I just thought if I could out my own asshole for everybody else, everyone would feel better. That was my role.
That's true.
Right. And that was, it's all coaching too, is I've got nothing, ask me anything, I'll tell you. You think that sucked, here's what I used to do, or here's what I said to my kids today.
Yeah.
So that started it. And then my sister's father-in-law did animation and said, you should turn your poop into animated series. And that started the whole thing. So I bought my book on, like, how to write a treatment or how to write a Bible for an animated show by Jeffrey Scott. Like, I bought my one book, and, you know, I love writing. I'm funny and I'm willing to out myself. So I thought and I had nothing to really lose. So that's what happened. So, like, it took a long time, because another problem of mine, besides being a bit cowardly, is I'm slow as
I'll get to it eventually.
I'm like, I could happily nurse this acorn to, like, a tree, but, like, and so my sister used to make fun of me and call me, like, a one acorn wonder, if even. Like, added if even.
Right.
And she was right. But so 8 years later, a lot of fall down, get up. It became a TV show. Hulu bought it. It was back before Hulu sounded like genius. It was really, Hulu was like one of the beginning, pre-Netflix. Right. So as much as you could go, like, oh my God, it was on Hulu, this was really like.
Right when it was a baby fledgling.
It was like baby, like nothing, like streaming, like nothing was as huge as it is now, and how genius Hulu was and is. So that's what happened. And so I had a writing partner at the time, and we like stood by creator credit as other people started writing it. You know, Hollywood was Hollywood, but I, like, held on to that baby, and it's very fun to see my name up there.
It is cool. Very
cool. The show, you know, was okay. But again, I didn't write it. right? The pilot fucking rocked. And that's the one we wrote. They changed it anyway, but we wrote it. And I'm very proud of it. And then I walk around Hollywood these days as I'm one for one, you know? Like 13 episodes aired and Eva Longoria played my voice. I'm so impressed with myself.
You're doing pretty good.
Right. And then same thing, like when I stepped up and my sister needed someone to ghostwrite the book with her, I did that. And so that now I'm like 2 for 2, right? I was like, what's next?
Yeah.
So that's what's good. That was a very fun thing. And it really was proof that the method works, because it's really like have a dream, get into the right actions. The only way that thing worked, even though it did take 8 years, was I had to be in a promise to write 2 hours a day, every day.
Okay.
Or I lost my glass of wine at night.
Oh my God, I love it. That sounds like me.
Right.
I'm like, all right, you have to accomplish this, or you can't have anything to drink tonight.
So because it turns out, right, I fight harder for my glass of wine than I do for my dream.
It's so true. It's so true.
And that's just the truth. That's just how humans work. It's funny. It's a little sad, but it's pretty funny.
But it's so
just surrender to, because rewards, right? Like Sarah, look, finding the love of your life is a reward, right? Everybody losing the 10 pounds is a reward. It just doesn't matter. But take away Netflix.
Yeah, and wine.
Right? And wine, right? Or have to go call that aunt that you hate, or go spend a weekend over there. Like, we'll fight for we don't like.
Right.
We don't want to
so
do or
true.
give up. It really is true.
It is true. I love the way you guys think. I like the way you project it. It's the way I'm supposed to think. So I had too much time alone in COVID.
Yeah, I understand.
But, that is really cool. So what's coming up next for you? And where can people reach out to actually divulge more, like you picked on me?
Yeah, come find us. Well, look, there's lots of things. There's the LSD quiz that I think we gave you, love, sex, and dating quiz that you should take, and that Sarah's going to drop in her comments or bio. So that is really in the show notes. That is a fun. I'll put in italics. Fun quiz. It is. It's funny. You start to just find out who you are about dating. We have lots of quizzes like that. If you go on interview.coach, you will find us there. Interview is our online coaching course that comes with one free masterclass and a free private coaching session. So there's Interview Love, which it puts all of Handel's coaching on love in one program. So we really figured out how that you could listen to it at your own pace, do the assignments, even if you don't do the assignments. So we highly recommend doing them.
Or you don't get a glass of wine if you don't finish your assignment.
Do it, right? Like it can't unhear. So it's really good, right? Like Sarah, I am now you can tell I'm gonna haunt her, right? Is that a theory?
I think we're gonna be new best friends. I'm gonna be getting updates. Are you on Zoom dates yet? What's wrong with you? No.
You could do it, right? And look, and we also offer free community calls. So on Monday, there's a wake up call with Lori. You could find out about us. And on Friday at 5:00 Eastern time, I do a wind down call where we just play and offer free coaching, and really have been doing it since the pandemic, and truly since March. We've been doing it just to get people through this.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year. It's definitely, but
I
see it
been
getting
a
better.
while. Yeah, completely.
Yeah, totally getting better. Totally getting better. Well, we'll have to do a update on how you get me dating in a few weeks.
That's right. Send me a profile. We could work on it.
All right, that sounds good to me. All right, well, thank you so much, Marnie, for sitting here with us today. This is Dr. Sarah from Sessions with Sarah, and we'll see you guys next week, and we'll keep you updated on my dating life.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you for listening to Helium Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and should not be construed in any way as advice from Helium Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by producers, writers, and editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the express written consent of Helium Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.